Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League live tonight from Silverstone here in Britain. 3.66 miles, 18 corners. Tonight's race, once again, the 40-minute endurance race format, and this is race 3 of the 9-race spring season here in the league. Looking forward to exciting racing around this very difficult and technical race course. Very historic racetrack, home of the British Grand Prix in Formula One, and home to so many great racing moments throughout the years. These drivers taking it on in the LMDH machines. As you can see, Colin Kortnick trying to put down a faster qualifying lap right now as he works through the S's and trying to improve his lap time. Currently 6th out of the 10 drivers that are on the racetrack. Brian Kennedy fastest so far. He's been strong the first 2 races of the season, but Adam Pohl has won the 2 opening races as he is headed towards, it looks like, the start-finish line here to get another lap started. We'll throw up the qualifying boards and the track map as we follow him around. Just 10 drivers so far in this session. And actually, I was incorrect. That was not the actual start-finish line. This track can be a little bit confusing if you're following from an outside position of the race cars. There's a couple of straightaways that are used for different configurations of the racetrack, and they both appear to be the front stretch, but that is not the case. A 3.66 mile racetrack in 40 minutes should get them just about 21-22 laps, I think, in this race. Maybe a few more than that, as now he will begin another lap. And the hard right-hander, high downforce on these LMDH machines. As the time takes down to 0, he does have another lap started, just a half second off of the pole time, trying to track down Brian Kennedy and Michael Pavolano. Adam Pohl has been the class of the series to this point. Brian Kennedy's been runner-up, on track most of the time, and really had a good shot to win last week behind Adam, but couldn't quite seal the deal. Some other drivers very quick in the last race as well. We're looking to see who can get it done here at Silverstone, or Silverstone if you're from the UK. Brian Kennedy still up on top of the charts, trying to improve his lap time. We'll see what he's able to do. Very wide of the mark right there. I'm not sure if there's track limits in the qualifying session. You see Adam Pohl really pushing this race car right up on those curves in the gas burn machine. We do want to thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. Series presented by SEOMike and Duncan Racing Designs. You'll learn more about them during the halfway break, where we go side by side. But great sponsors of this series, as well as a lot of great drivers and league administrators, setting up a really nice series for these drivers to come out to each and every week. As Adam Pohl across the line, able to pick up his best lap time, but I believe it may have been ineligible. I'm still seeing him 3rd on the charts. Not sure exactly what's up with that. Brian Kennedy, his lap not recorded during that one. So that should pretty much do it for the qualifying session. Looks like Brian Kennedy is going to get the top spot. Track position going to be important, especially in such a small field. Going to get a little bit spread out. You don't want to be caught in too many battles with this 40-minute race, as they will take it off of the racetrack. Of course, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, who you're rooting for, and who do you think is going to win tonight's race. Will it be Adam Pohl for the 3rd week in a row to open things off in this series, or is it going to be somebody else? Brian Kennedy, Michael Pavolano. Dean Tooling's been strong here in the first couple of races as well. It'll be any of the drivers you see on the starting grid tonight. We will pull up where everyone is starting here tonight. It's going to be Brian Kennedy taking the pole position from Silverstone in the number 77 machine. To his outside, it'll be Michael Pavolano rolling off from second. Starting in the third spot tonight, the two-time winner already this season, Adam Pohl, looking to make it 3 in a row. Bruce Wiley, he'll roll off from the fourth spot as well. He had some good pace at Daytona last week. Starting in the fifth spot, it'll be Dean Tulien. Starting in sixth, Colin Kortnick. Starting in seventh tonight, it'll be Matthew Gazenda. Rolling off eighth, Callan Crocker. Showing in ninth on the grid will be Justin Craig and Matthew Stover, who did not take a time. He will be scored 10th on the starting grid here this evening. We'll see if he does make it onto the grid. But if he doesn't, then we only have 9 cars for tonight's 40-minute endurance race, which will be very interesting to see who's there to compete at the end. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow along here with VSpeed 2, our new secondary channel. We're really excited to be bringing you this series as the primary series on the channel, and looking forward to potentially other series joining on here in the future. And it's been a fun one so far this season with these LMDH machines, and looking forward to the rest of this season in the championship fight that is bound to happen. We've seen a lot of drivers very competitive at the front in these race cars. We'll see who can take the victory here tonight as drivers still waiting to grid up. Looks like we will get the go-ahead now with just, I believe, 9 cars on the starting grid. May not even be that many. We might only have, yeah, it looks like 9 cars. And Matthew Stover appears to not be out there in the number 10. So 9 drivers going to be fighting for it here at Silverstone tonight. A little bit less than the grid, half the grid of an F1 race. And these cars almost as quick as F1 machines, as we are seeing the pace car make the right-hand turn onto pit road. Through the last little stretch of the racetrack. We'll pull up the track map so you can see where the drivers are at around this race course. And working out of the final corner, going to be coming to the green flag. Adam Pohl in control once again, or sorry, Brian Kennedy rather, as green flag is in the air. And we've already got drivers making moves at the back of the pack. Brian Kennedy shoots out to about a 6 or 7 car length lead. Battle side by side for second. Michael Pavolano and Adam Pohl already up into second if he can complete the pass. And he goes a little bit wide there. Had a hard time getting on the binders. And he'll fall back into third position. Battle back here, Dean Tulien, Justin Craig. Rather, that is Callan Crocker, one of the hang loose machines. He'll go by Dean Tulien and try and track down his teammate Justin Craig. But orderly so far from this field, as everybody snakes their way through. Brian Kennedy already out to a nearly 2-second lead. And based on the last 2 weeks, he's really been the fastest car. Just found himself in dirty air behind Adam Pohl, who's found himself at the front of the field to start both of the last 2 races. And ultimately, those were the 2 best cars each week. Keeping an eye on everybody. No issues with lap number 1. As they make their way towards the last corner on the racetrack. It's going to be Brian Kennedy pulling away 1.8 seconds. Michael Pavolano settled in now in second across the stripe. Nice shot here of all the drivers working through that initial set of corners. A little walk-up from Adam Pohl. Pretty well spaced out right now. Just a matter of time before these drivers get to battling, though, as they did on lap number 1. We'll see that happen here in the next few laps. I'm sure we'll see some changes for position. Looks like Dean Tooling closing in on Callan Crocker. That battle for the 6th and 7th positions. Dean right there on the tail of the number 7. You can see just how offline that pushes Dean. And he loses a few car lengths because of that. But he was right there as they entered into those high downforce flat corners underneath the Johnny Walker Bridge. And the race for second starting to tighten up. Adam Pohl is closed in now to Michael Pavolano, making just 2 car lengths between those drivers as they are still nearly 2 seconds behind Brian Kennedy. Bruce Wiley's not really going away either. He is staying just about 10 car lengths behind Adam Pohl. And then the hang loose teammates, Justin Craig, Callan Crocker, 5th and 6th. Approaching 5 minutes into this race. Michael Pavolano who had a very nice race going last week, actually took the lead before he had an issue with his hardware, his sim racing hardware, and ended up going off track in turn 1 probably 5 or 6 times before the end of the race, costing himself a top 5. He's running in second here, maintaining about 2 seconds behind Brian Kennedy, who is continuing to show the way now onto lap number 3. We do know that tire management is a bit of an issue with these cars. So you can push them really hard. They've got a lot of grip. But you can wear the tires out. And you got to wonder if Brian Kennedy maybe pushed a little too hard on lap 1. He's not pulling away very much at the moment. He's about a 10th quicker than Michael Pavolano, but not the fastest car on track. That would go to Bruce Wiley on the previous lap. Adam Pohl overshooting the corner. Goes wide into the runoff. Able to recover. Let's go back and take a look at that. Just really deep, I think, into the corner. Yeah, just completely missed it. Off into the green runoff area, and that's probably a penalty. Time penalty, but he may have just been able to serve that naturally. Hasn't lost a position to Bruce Wiley. You don't want to see smoke come out from your car. Has changed for position in 6th and 7th. Dean Tooling's made it past. Here comes Justin Craig trying to peek the nose back to driver's left. Not able to do it. He's going to have a little bit of draft. Will he make a move down into the next corner? Goes to driver's left. Nearly contact as they get into the turn. Dean Tooling able to defend for the moment. That has brought Colin Kortnick and Matthew Gazenda, 8th and 9th, right into the picture. These 4 cars at the back of the field. Setting up for a crazy battle for this race. Once again, Dean Tooling showing his consistency in the first few races of this season. As long as he can have a nice clean race, his pace has been good enough to get him top 5s. The lead still just over 2 seconds for Brian Kennedy. And we'll see how Michael Pavolano does in this race compared to Daytona. He was much better on the tail end of a run than Brian Kennedy and Adam Pohl. And we'll see if that remains the same here tonight. He did just lose quite a chunk of time at the end of that lap. And Adam Pohl was the quickest car, maybe a result of the draft that he got off the back of the 111. Bruce Wiley still just about 10 car lengths behind, so he is maintaining, running very consistent laps with the top few. Now lap 5 goes up onto the boards. Brian Kennedy continuing to lead the battle, building for second, but just not quite able to get there is Adam Pohl. Bruce Wiley closing in just a little bit through all of that. And the battle further back, still pretty tight. Colin Kortnick's now gotten in the back of Justin Craig. I believe both of these drivers ran into issues late in race number 1. I'm not sure if they had problems at Daytona, but there was a change for position. Dean Tooling's gotten passed back up by Callan Crocker now. Ooh, and here comes Justin Craig to pit lane. Interesting decision. I wonder if he's serving a penalty of some sort, or possibly has some damage. I'm not sure how that would be the case. Maybe it's a little bit of a fuel strategy, seeing we're about a quarter of the way through the event. Maybe he's deciding to come in and take fuel now and try and make up time at the tail end of the race. As not in the box, just way off there. It cost him a little time. We'll see what the pit timer shows. Brian Kennedy has now led every lap, 5 laps in this one. He did lead one at Daytona, had a shot at the end, and now really making good use of the pole position so far tonight. Adam Pohl just not able to make up much ground now on Pabalano. The times have pretty much leveled out amongst the top 4. But Brian Kennedy really, making use of the clean air. He was 0.6 faster than the next 2 drivers. And then Bruce Wiley actually second quickest, just a 10th or so off the pace of your race leader. Dean Tooling now peaking drivers left, now drivers right. A little bit of a fake it and take a shot there into the next corner, but couldn't get it done. The door gets shut in his face by Callan. Justin Craig was on pit road for nearly 40 seconds. It was a 12.5 second pit stop. I don't believe that was a penalty. Seems too short to be a penalty, so possibly damage repair or fuel strategy to get himself into some clean air, maybe put down some better lap times. As Bruce Wiley making a move on Adam Pohl. This would be for a podium position. Don't count out Bruce Wiley tonight. He's got some good pace. Adam Pohl really pushing the car right there. As we ride on board with Bruce in the number 67. There's your second, third, and fourth place drivers. Brian Kennedy starting to run away with this, up 4 seconds on Michael Pabalano. And then those two battling, Dean Tooling and Callan Crocker, 5th and 6th. They're in the next group, kind of by themselves, and then a little ways back to Matthew Gazenda and Colin Kortnick. Really nice shot here from the camera crew. So not too big of a gap between race cars, other than from 1st to 2nd and 4th to 5th. There's a couple gaps. Everybody else pretty tightly together within about a second and a half of each other. And about a third of the way through the race, it has been all Brian Kennedy out front. You can hear how long he's got to wait on that throttle. Just being patient with that accelerator pedal, trying to save the tires, save some fuel. Really good technique, and that is what has pulled him out to nearly a 4-second lead. As Michael Pavolano in the second position, on board with him right now. You can hear doing the same thing, waiting on the throttle so long there, and he still spun the tires a little bit. You can see him have to do a little correction. And Adam Pohl is right there with him. Bruce Wiley, since trying to make a move for third, has fallen well back behind, now about 2 seconds off of the 8 machine. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. If you are, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out these different social media links to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. We're on our main channel Mondays and Tuesdays, and then over here on Thursdays, the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League. We're also live on Facebook with this league. Make sure to tune in on either platform. I really do appreciate it. And you know, some people that enjoy some road racing or love some fast BMWs, send them our way. Make sure they tune in to see some great racing action. As Adam Pohl trying to close that gap for third position, or for second position rather. See just how long they've got to wait to get back to the gas. But really, really good stuff. Clean racing from all of these drivers. We haven't seen any major issues. Look at the battle developing right here. Dean Tooling right in front of the 32. I almost had to eat my words. They nearly make contact in that corner. And Colin Kortnick is there. He is closed up big time. Dean Tooling, but finding some speed in that 32. Really nice paint scheme on that car as well. It's by Duncan Racing Designs, one of the league sponsors, who's sponsoring this season and hopefully many seasons to come. A lot of great looking race cars because of his work. You'll hear more about that at the halfway break in a few minutes. Dean Tooling now looking driver's left. He did this move already once before, but he's actually leaving the door open for Colin Kortnick that time. No takers to pit lane. Just Justin Craig at this point. Matthew Gazenda not too far back from that 3-car battle, and if they get side by side, it'll bring him right into it. But this is the place to watch right here, 5th through 7th. As Dean Tooling right on the back tail wing of that number 7. Struggling to put the power down just a little bit. Ooh, big checkup moment there for Dean Tooling. He nearly got in the back of Callan Crocker. And that opened up the door for Colin to try and make a move, and he did get alongside, but just not able to make anything happen. Man, this is entertaining stuff. They are really going at it back here. Nice and clean for the moment. We'll see if any of the elbows get thrown out here. And And this all going on in nearly 170 miles an hour. These guys really, really pushing it here tonight. And the speed of these LMDH machines evident at a track like this, so aero dependent. And they really have the setup dialed in tonight. But driver who's very dialed in as well, that is Brian Kennedy. He is flying currently about 0.8 of a second a lap faster than the next quickest car on the track. This last time he ran a 1:46.39 to the next closest was actually Adam Pohl that time, only a few hundredths off, as Dean Tooling has brought it to pit lane. So he'll be the second taker. Justin Craig already brought it in. We'll see where he ends up in relation to Dean as he pulls it down to the attention of his crew. We'll see how long the pit stop is for the driver to the number 5. Taking a look right here. Well, the pit box timer did not update for me, but total time on pit lane, about 1.5 seconds faster than Justin Craig, who is going to end up about 4 or 5 seconds behind Dean. So that is the difference overall for those drivers. So maybe better entry and exit possibly for Dean, and that rolling into the box a little better for the 5 as well. There's your race leader, Brian Kennedy, and here is second place battle going on between Poblano and Adam Pohl. See if Adam Pohl with the draft on this straightaway gonna make a move, gets right to the back of the 111. And again, so tight. This fight for the second spot. Little lockup from Poblano as they enter the corner, pushing very hard at the halfway point in this race. I think Adam Pohl a little bit quicker right now. He's been able to catch up and stay there. But this is bringing Bruce Wiley once again back into the mix. It'll be 3 cars fighting for the podium positions. Brian Kennedy long gone at this point, unless he makes a big mistake with pit road. It's probably over. Now the battle for 5th developing between Colin Kortnick and Callan Crocker. And just past the halfway point, we'll keep an eye on this battle and the second place battle. If anything happens, you'll see it on screen as we go side by side for our mid-race break. And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Oh!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins in an Auto Club.
From the starting line to the finish line, and everything in between, Duncan Racing Designs is here to supply you with the livery you didn't know you needed. Let DRD help you look good so you can drive fast. Contact Duncan Racing Designs on Instagram, trading paints, or via email. SEOMike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEOMike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEOMike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. Back at the racetrack, battle for second. Just as we switch back, it looks like Michael Pavolano is going to bring it to pit lane from the, at the moment, he was in third position. Adam Pohl was able to get past him. Maybe that was just Pavolano trying to set up for a good entry and had to switch lanes. But we did see Callan Crocker just brought it in to pit lane as well. He falls actually back behind Dean Tulien. So nice job by the 5 on his pit cycle to make his way past the hang loose machines. He's actually been able to gap both of them by a few seconds. We'll see how Pavolano does on pit road. We'll keep an eye on the time as he gets to the pit box. And service beginning on that race car. He is taking tires, it appears. It's gone up on the jacks. So I'm not sure exactly if that is going to be the right call or not. But 13.8 seconds is what I'm seeing. 40.5 seconds in pit lane. What is that going to do for Dean Tulien and some of these other guys? They are not close enough yet, but not too far behind. Pavolano putting fresh tires on. I think they run Michelin's in these LMDH machines. And Brian Kennedy continuing to just drive away from the field, up 8.7 seconds from Adam Pohl, who's having a strong race. You know, there's no doubt he's got pace here tonight, and he's been, you know, at points just as fast as the 77. Just he's been stuck behind Michael Pavolano, and I think ultimately Bruce Wiley just as good as Adam Pohl as well. Here we see Michael Pavolano get past Matthew Gazenda. That just happened a few moments ago. Gazenda in 6th, the last of the cars running out on the racetrack that have not brought it to pit lane. So Bruce Wiley is going to make the entry to pit road. And we'll see where he cycles out. He was running a little ways behind Michael Pavolano, about 2 seconds, and we'll see if he takes any tires. Colin Kortnick now brings it in as well from the 4th spot. They both come to the attention of their crews. Does Matthew Gazenda join them? No, he does not. He will stay out. So does Adam Pohl and Brian Kennedy. But you would have to think they would respond here pretty soon with less than 15 minutes left in this race. Colin Kortnick just gets rolling. He's going to fall back behind Dean Tulien. Longer pit stop. Actually, no, it was a really nice job on pit road by Colin Kortnick, but overall, I think in lap and out lap, we'll have to see how he does on this exit lap. And Bruce Wiley is cycled out behind Michael Pavolano, not too far behind him, so that has worked out pretty naturally to where they were running. Very even on pit road. It looks like Wiley also took tires and had a longer pit stop, actually, and exits out just about 1 second behind. Keeping an eye on Brian Kennedy, race leader, is going to bring it in this time. Adam Pohl, what does he do? Here he comes from 2nd spot. That'll leave just one car yet to come to pit road, and that's Matthew Gazenda, who's got a little ways yet till he gets to the pit road entry, but I would expect him to also make that pit stop, as it won't benefit him really to stay out any longer at this point. So into the pit stall for Brian Kennedy and Adam Pohl. We gotta try and find a camera angle where we can actually see them on pit road. Oh, I don't think we really have any. But change for position between the hang loose teammates, 8th and 9th. Justin Craig who pit very early in this race, has gotten past his teammate Callan Crocker, who falls now to 9th. Matthew Gazenda brings it in, so he will cycle to the tail end of the field, I believe. Brian Kennedy off and away with now a 4.5 second lead over Adam Pohl. And Michael Pavolano, ooh, big walk up there. He took tires. I don't believe Adam Pohl did. Or if he did, it was a nice short pit stop, just 12 seconds. Shortest time on pit road of anyone. Bruce Wiley still in tow behind Michael Pavolano. A little farther back, though. A lot more separation as he goes off track by a little bit. But Dean Tulien into the top 5. What can he do with Bruce Wiley? Can he get up there and challenge him? How about Brian Kennedy? He has led every lap so far, working lap number 16. Finished runner-up last week, ran second place a lot of race number 1, and ultimately pit road issues cost him any shot at a victory in that one. But it's between Brian Kennedy and Adam Pohl every week this season, and same situation here. Adam Pohl closing in just a little bit. Michael Pavolano probably just too far back at this point. 10 minutes left. He's got to make up over 9 seconds to Brian Kennedy. He's got to make up almost 6 seconds to Adam Pohl in second. Bruce Wiley running in that 4th position. Really nice race from him. He started 4th, running 4th. Dean Tulien started 5th, running 5th. Colin Kornick started 6th, running 6th. Justin Craig started 9th. He's running 7th. I think driver of the day is going to be a little bit tricky because pretty much everyone's running where they started. But maybe it'll be Justin Craig if he's able to get a couple more spots with the alternate strategy. Matthew Gazenda has started 7th, running in 9th. Not been the race that I'm sure he was hoping for, but still pretty clean race from all of these drivers. I don't think we've seen any issues. No real battles to speak of. Tightest fight for position would be between Bruce Wiley and Dean Tulien, but that's 1.7 seconds. You can see these two, that is your closest fight. As expected, things got a little bit spaced out through the first 3 quarters of this one. And it'll really come down to who makes mistakes in the final 10 minutes. Very interesting to see how things cycled out with Michael Pavolano running in 2nd for most of this race. Just not a good sequence on pit road, or maybe taking tires, you know, just that extra time on pit lane really cost him. He was even with Adam Pohl, or, you know, very close to him, and comes out nearly 6 seconds behind. Has not worked out. Another strong run from the 5 car in 5th position. At the moment, not gaining. You know, something just happened to Adam Pohl. He's lost a ton of time. And now the battle is on for 2nd. This has changed everything. This will change the nature of this race. From here on out, let's see if we can find out what happened to Adam Pohl. Oh, he took a little off-road excursion. Oh man, look at that correction. And actually caught the wall. I thought I heard contact at one point, but wow, that has changed things dramatically. And he may actually, you know, have some damage. And, you know, the dirty tires, not really what you want around a track like this where grip is so important. Every ounce of grip that you have or don't have can make the difference. And that's taking all the pressure off Brian Kennedy, who can run almost a second or two a lap slower than his normal pace. The battle is